engineering program and research and development program that involves the DoD for the development of highly classified and highly advanced technology that most people know as voice to skull. I could no longer be a part of it. I could no longer go along with it. These people are sick, and the way that they treat targeted individuals is sick. And unfortunately, this is now being rolled out nationwide so that all of the American people are going to be a target of this program in one way or another. Since uploading my first podcast, I have been harassed nonstop. There has been a tenfold increase in the nastiness of the attitude that I'm dealing with from the people who are assigned to gang stalk me. They have also threatened my life. I am aware, because they have told me exactly who it is that's going to kill me, exactly how it is that they're going to kill me, and where they are going to dump my body. As a result, I have pre-recorded this information, and it is now stored on my Google Drive account. The site where they're going to dump my body, if they do indeed kill me, is located just outside Castle Rock, Colorado, off a trail where you can drive where people go camping. You walk along the river. Once you get to the farthest point that you can drive, park your car and walk several miles to where the river turns into a lake. There's an opening, and that is where you will find my body if these people do in fact kill me. In fact, just this morning, as I recorded yet another podcast that will be uploaded in the future, I was told not to reveal certain things, or they would kick my ass, kill me, and dump me in a lake. This is why, before going public, I reported all of this to the FBI 4 times. I reported all of this to local and state police. I reported all of this to everyone and anyone I could, trying to blow the whistle on my company, on Amazon, and on the federal government of the United States of America. Unfortunately, what I was told was, not that I'm crazy and we have no idea what you're talking about. I was told by the Federal Bureau of Investigations and by the Tempe Police Department that what you are describing is a federal program. We know exactly what it is, and as a result, there is absolutely nothing we can do about it. If you are a targeted individual out there, I know how difficult your life is, because I'm one too. And I want to personally apologize for the role that I played in this program as an employee of SIS, Security Industry Specialists in Seattle, Washington. What I did and what my company is still doing, what the Amazon Corporation is doing, and what everybody I'm about to name in this podcast is doing is unacceptable, it is illegal, and it must be stopped immediately. If you are undergoing torture every single day and every single night, if you are miserable because of what these people are doing to you with voice-to-skull technology, emotion manipulation technology, and gang stalking and organized stalking, I want you to know that you're not alone. I want you to know that there are good people within this program that are disgusted by it, that do not want to be a part of it. And there are more and more of them, like myself, that are seriously considering coming forward and blowing the whistle on this thing, because it has gotten completely out of control. So hang in there. Hold on. Someone is coming to rescue you. Because contrary to popular belief, this is not a non-lethal weapon. This is not something that is just messing with people and making their lives a bit inconvenient. This is something that has serious long-term psychological effects on the target. It is something that inflicts serious long-term damage physically on the target. They are being bombarded 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by radio frequency signals, microwave signals that literally cook their body every single day and every single night. And as a result, they are aging at an accelerated rate. Their lives are being brought to a premature end by this technology. This technology radiates the teeth right out of people's mouths. This technology deteriorates the muscles of the individual. This technology deteriorates the joints and the bones of the targeted individual to a point where if they have been under the influence of this technology for many, many, many years, the long-term effects of it is that it will leave them completely crippled. I also wanted to take the time to say, before I name specifics, that there's an aspect of this technology that allows the people who are using it to see through the eyes of the target and to hear through the ears of the target. Well, the reason that they use this technology on the gang stalkers themselves is to assist them in carrying out their duties of gang stalking targeted individuals. It is used to make sure that they say the right thing. It is used to make sure that they do not sympathize and empathize with the target, because an aspect of the technology can be used to completely control the emotions of the gang stalker and steady their nerves and make sure that they can operate as a cool, cold-hearted, mercenary assassin. And this is exactly the demeanor that they rock when they are messing with people like me. Because of this, I know that they are under the influence of this technology and is being used to assist them in this case, as opposed to the way it's used against targeted individuals, which is to destroy their lives. During my time as a security specialist with Security Industry Specialists in Seattle, Washington, I became aware of a massive social engineering program run by the federal government, intelligence agencies, private corporations, private security contractors, and DESC, the Downtown Emergency Service Center. This social engineering program experiments on the homeless population and the general population of Seattle, utilizing what most people know as voice-to-skull technology. However, this technology is infinitely more advanced than most people know. It can be used to completely control the thoughts and emotions of the target, and thus it can be used to control the target's actions. This program is illegal, unconstitutional, and absolutely terrifying. It must be exposed and stopped now. What follows is a detailed outline of the entire program. Please read and share with all of your friends and family. Contact your senators and members of Congress and demand that they investigate immediately. Many of the homeless test subjects of this program start out as highly educated, successful people. Their lives are systematically destroyed by this program using voice-to-skull technology, organized stalking, career sabotage, and an intense character assassination effort, which isolates them from society, leaves them unemployed, and turns family and friends against them. Greystar Property Management, a company that manages apartment complexes around the country, is complicit in this illegal program. As the targeted individual is being tortured by voice-to-skull, microwaved, and emotionally manipulated by frequency weapons, Greystar employees look the other way when the tenant complains to the leasing office. Their maintenance workers routinely enter the target's residence without permission, and they work hand-in-hand in the organized stalking program to surround the target with neighbors who are working for the program. The result of these illegal activities is that the target ends up completely isolated from society and will eventually be forced out of their home. This part of the social engineering program is carried out in cities across America with the goal of relocating the victim to one of the hub cities of the program, in this case, Seattle, Washington. The relocation phase of this program uses voice-to-skull and organized stalking to force the victim out of the city they reside in. They are then forced to buy a Greyhound bus ticket to Seattle. En route, they are intercepted by a group of thugs on the Greyhound bus that includes every other passenger on the bus. During the long hours of the ride to Seattle, the victim is drugged, robbed, tortured, and prevented from escaping. During this hellish relocation operation, false confessions are beaten out of the victim. The purpose of this is to later prevent the victim from seeking help from law enforcement, for they are told that the false confessions will be used against them if they do so. The victim's ID, credit cards, social security card, and cell phones are stolen, thus leaving the victim completely helpless and destitute. They are then dropped off on the side of the highway in the freezing cold and rain just outside the city of Seattle. The victim is left alone for a period of days as they wander along the highway with no money, no food, and no water. During this time, voice-to-skull is used to induce hallucinations and relentlessly torture the victim psychologically. When they inevitably collapse from exhaustion, dehydration, and hypothermia, they are picked up by people in the program, revived, and then dropped back off on the side of the road. Slowly, they are guided to downtown Seattle, where their nightmare will get even worse. Once the victim arrives in Seattle, they are subjected to merciless psychological torture. As they aimlessly wander the streets, organized stalkers scream insults at them and spit on them. A constant bombardment of directed frequency energy pummels the victim's mind and completely destroys their ability to function and think. This goes on for a week or more. No care is afforded to them, and they are rendered emotionally and psychologically devastated. It is at this point that the victim is guided to the waiting arms of DESC, Downtown Emergency Service Center, where their torture will continue in a facility that appears to all the world as nothing more than your average homeless shelter. Located at 505 3rd Avenue in Seattle, Washington, 98104, DESC Connections houses homeless men who are experimented on by a covert research and development / social engineering program run by the United States government. Here, constantly updated versions of voice-to-skull and emotion manipulation technology are used against victims in a controlled setting. The shelter and surrounding area are a testing ground for a highly classified form of voice-to-skull known as hive mind, which is used to refine coordinated organized stalking and street theater tactics. Participation in these activities is involuntary. These helpless people are modern-day slaves who have been treated like lab rats by the criminals running this program. DESC is supposed to be helping these homeless people find jobs and affordable housing. I can tell you from firsthand knowledge that although many of these victims are making a valiant effort to overcome the torture and find jobs, the employees of DESC will simply not allow it to happen. Their job is to keep these men homeless at all costs. They are human test subjects in a highly illegal program, and thus their homeless condition is understood by all involved as permanent. With such a miserable existence imposed on them by those who have been charged with their care, these homeless men have very little to look forward to. The people running the social engineering program know this, so they have built into the program a series of incentives. These range from dirt cheap cigarettes and free bus rides to EBT food stamp cards paid for by the state of Washington. But the most well-behaved of the test subjects have a chance to move uptown to a place that most homeless men in Seattle only dream of living someday, 157 Roy Street.